For many years, I waged a battle against drinking. Yeah, drinking alcohol. And it began in a very simple way. I remember I was at the university in my second or third year thereon, and I had been in the student politics at that time. I had campaigned to be the academic representative in the students' council. And so after the campaigns, and after that period of the campaigns had come to an end, I finally went to the polls, and I won the election to be the academic director, as they called us those years in the Students' Council. So that evening, after election results were announced and I emerged the winner, some friends thought that they would, or it would be wise for them to throw a party for me. So they threw a party for me as a surprise. And I just learned that there was a party for me. So they came for me and said that there's a party for you. Where this is going, I just want to let you know how something that began like fun eventually ended up becoming something I had to battle with for almost 20 years. So we arrived at the party. There was nyama choma. It was in a pub, and there was nyama choma. There were drinks. These guys had organized everything for me. So mine was just to present myself and to have the fun. So yeah, it was a clique of friends. We used to do many things together, and we were quite close. So when they had informed me that because I had emerged the winner in the elections, they had decided that they would throw a party for me, I thought it was a nice idea, and I jumped on the bandwagon. So we arrived at the party place that evening after they took me, and as I've said, there were drinks, there was nyama choma. The atmosphere was palpable with music playing, and we were in a gazebo in that pub and restaurant. And so we started the evening. Before then, I had, first of all, never entered a pub. I had never gone to a pub, and I had never sat in a pub for any time at any time in my life. This was actually my first time. And remember, I was under the invitation of my clique of friends that evening for winning an election at the university. You know, university politics in Kenya can be very harrowing. They can actually just be as harrowing as the general elections usually are. So we sat that evening. I was just drinking my soda. I remember, I think I was taking a Crest or a Sprite. I can't remember which exactly. Both have green bottles. So we ate the nyama chomas. We took drinks. My friends took their alcoholic beverages. I took my soft drink, my soda. And the evening was proving to be a nice evening, well spent as we whiled away time in the pub. Being my first time in the pub, I was a bit nervous. I felt I had betrayed something in me that I had guarded for many years. I had been quite careful never to fall for peer pressure of any sort. But what I did know is that by entering the doors of that pub, my life was going to change. And therefore, as I sat there and took my soda, one, then I took a second, and I ate the nyama choma, and we spoke about everything ranging from the current politics that had just concluded, the elections, gossip, and all sorts of things peers at the university can talk about. One of my friends who was taking an alcoholic beverage, and I remember it was something called Smirnoff Red Ice. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Come on, Moses, you are not enjoying the evening. You can't take sodas throughout the evening. It doesn't harm if you try a bottle of one of these." And I shuddered at such a proposal. I, however, do not understand up to now what happened that I let down my guard. I just found myself saying, what did I have to lose to try and just take a sip of a taste? So he offered me a glass in which he had poured a little of the Smirnoff Red Ice. And I took, it tasted strange in my mouth. It tasted sour, something in between sour, something in between bitter, like the crest mixed in a Sprite. It was a unique taste that felt tangy on my tongue. So I swallowed it, and as it went down my throat, there was a burning sensation that I still can remember up to now. And then it settled down my stomach. I thought I was going to react, vomit, or do anything. Nothing happened. I took my soda, and then I told him to give me the whole bottle. So I tried and did the whole bottle. Then I asked for another bottle. Then I asked for another bottle. By the end of that evening, I had taken about 3 bottles. And of course, I was loosening my tongue more and more as I took more of the beverage. And I felt a kind of sensation I had never felt in my body. I felt a certain confidence that I had never had in my life. And I started chatting up a number of girls that were in our company. And as the evening came to around midnight, the same friend told us that we needed to move. So we finished our drinks, we finished our nyama choma. I had abandoned the crest, or was it Sprite? I don't remember clearly, somewhere midway. So we finished, and he said we needed to move. So we moved to a nightclub. And so as we went into the nightclub. Again, this was my first time to go into a nightclub. So many fast things were happening, and And I'm telling this story because it was such an inconsequential way of making it. Felt rather quite simple and inconsequential to walk into a pub, to walk into a nightclub, things I had never done before. But I didn't realize at that time these were very, very consequential things that were going to affect, to shift a lot in my life, as they did, which I'll say more in coming videos. Today I'm just saying how I first tasted alcohol, how I found myself drinking. Because this drinking eventually affected me in many ways. I went through a lot in life because of drinking, until there was a time my family lost hope that I would recover and ever be something in life. So it is that time we entered into a nightclub that I knew my life now had taken a new complete turn. Because as I was drinking in the pub, I thought maybe it was just an experiment. But as we entered the nightclub, it became clear to me that my life had taken a new turn, because when we found a comfortable spot in the nightclub, more drinks were ordered, and now I was drinking like I had been drinking all my life. And I was dancing and swaying to music on the dance floor, going back to seat. I was doing things I had never done before, and the experience was electrifying and thrilling for me at that moment. In fact, I felt like I had discovered something I had never discovered before, only for me to realize in the future that I had started digging a pit that would be very difficult for me to come out. So I immediately fell in love with that particular drink. And so I started imbibing and drinking more and more in that nightclub. So by the end of the night, I was loquacious, garrulous, if you could say, and I was talking too much, and I was having, what I would call obscene confidence. Yeah, obscene confidence. Confidence tending, I'm using that phrase very, very deliberately. I was having obscene confidence. Alcohol seems to give you obscene confidence when you overindulge. So I had obscene confidence, and the confidence that comes only when you take alcohol and you are before girls and women and ladies. So it happened that the night finally ended for us at around 4 a.m. in the morning, and we had to go back to college. As we went back to college, I was just drunk. To be honest, I was drunk, and not badly drunk, but I was drunk. I was actually unstable on my feet. You could say staggering. I was staggering, yes. And that was my first night with alcohol. It was because I had won an election at the university as a representative for the students in the academic director position in the student council. The excitement that came with it, and my friends telling me, we have a party for you, which was a good idea, not a bad idea. It was a thing that had all the marks of noble intentions. But this was a gate I was entering. This was a door I was opening in my life. A door that was leading into a dark tunnel of alcoholism and addiction to alcohol. And it was leading into a darker tunnel of emotional turmoil and depression that eventually followed me later in life because of a simple letting down of my guard and experimenting with one bottle and listening, opening my ears to just that conviction that it's just a night of to have a good time. Moses, don't worry, you are not having fun. The taunting and the lack of my own conviction, and being in the group of friends, feeling like I had to fit in with the friends. I had to just be like everyone, and being careless and saying, what do I have to lose? It was a mixture of things, a cocktail of emotions, a cocktail of adventure, mixed in experimentation, mixed in curiosity. All this cocktail of emotions worked me in, and the circumstances being right, into taking my first bottle of alcohol, Sman of red ice. I remember there was that red ice and black ice, I remember. But I remember it was the red ice that I took. The Sman of red ice. I hope I got the name right. And that was how I started taking alcohol. And it was a thorn in my flesh for many years. Had I known that life would be quite different from that night of my election victory at university, I would have never perhaps touched that bottle of alcohol. Or even more more precise, I would have never gone for that party. I would have never let down guard on my convictions. I had a principle about never going into a pub. I had a principle about never drinking. Perhaps I should have held to those principles. But then again, I have come to realize that it's not all about our convictions. Usually we think that way until we hit a certain rock bottom. You realize that on your own strength, it is impossible to manage. So it comes to a point in life, which came for me later in life, that point of Saul meeting the light on his way to Damascus, and hearing the voice of one mightier than him, of one who is the Lord Jesus Christ, meeting that voice and hearing the voice tell him that you know what, why are you persecuting me? And now him realizing that he has power, but there's someone who has more power. It sometimes feels like that you feel like you are in control. So he felt he was in control. So I felt I was in control. I'm just talking about the convictions. So you sometimes feel it is about your convictions. It's about your self-control. It's about you. But then you realize as life goes on that it's not about you. You cannot actually make it on your own sometimes. It's never going to be only about you. And if you think it's going to be about you, you are going to hit a wall that will now remind you need to lift your hand and seek for help. And at that point, you will seek for help. And the only one who now lifts us up from such bottomless pits of addictions and all that is one, and that is God. So, long story short, I met God somewhere, and this is what changed everything in my life. But this is a story that is going to unfold as I tell of my experiences after the first bottle of Sman of red ice. It was a cold, chilly bottle of Sman of red ice that threw me into the bottomless pits of alcoholic hell. Very hot bottomless pits. This has been Moses Abukutsa on my channel Beyond Faces. Like, subscribe, share. Comment down there. Do you have an experience with addiction of any kind? Mine was alcohol. Maybe you have an experience. Comment. Or maybe particularly you have an experience about alcohol. Comment. Comment and like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for listening to me. God bless you.